Well, welcome to part 3 of our study called Separate Ways. We're looking at Genesis 13, 5 through 7 here. And we've come to the question, who is Lot? In this section, we finally start to get some more details on who Lot is. So far, all we know is that he is Abram's nephew, the son of his brother Haran, who had died. Lot went with his grandfather Terah and uncle Abram when they left Ur. And he stayed with his uncle as he traveled into Canaan, then to Egypt, and now back to the return trip to Canaan. We're told that Lot also has flocks, herds, and tents. Along with the herds and flocks, Lot has some employees. He has some herdsmen to care for his financial portfolio there. So Lot is a rich man, like his uncle, probably not as rich, but he is rich. He's got some possessions, he's got wealth, he's got employees. He's doing well for himself now. So what's the problem here? At this point, where the separation between Lot and Abram begins. This is where it begins. The separation begins to manifest itself, really. The Bible tells us that Abram and Lot had so many animals and people and stuff that the land could not support all of them. The dwindling resources of the land began to cause problems between Abram's and Lot's herdsmen. And that's really the main issue, is the infighting between the two. Resources, they could just move around. They're nomadic, right? They could just pick up and move. But the problem is that they got strife in between the two groups in their family here. So their two companies cannot function under the same roof anymore without causing problems. They had outgrown the place they were living in. There is only so much vegetation and water to go around, and so the herdsmen begin to fight for the resources. They're like, well, I want this, my animals need this, but your animals took it. So now they're fighting. What's the danger here? Okay, so there's fighting going on. Not a big deal, right? But there is, because there is danger. The infighting was bad enough, but we're also reminded in the text here that the Canaanites and the Perizzites were dwelling in the land. Abram and Lot were not living in Canaan all by themselves. That would have been bad enough, but now there's rival tribes were living there too. The internal fighting of Abram's family could pose a greater threat than just a lack of resources. The Canaanites and the Perizzites could see this as an opportunity to attack, to destroy their competition. You know, Abram and Lot are growing and getting bigger. Their households are getting large. The native people in the land could have been like, well, these guys are going to take over. They're stealing, they're taking all of our stuff. Look, they're fighting over the resources. Let's go in and let's deal with them, which is something they could have done, but they don't. God's protecting Abram and Lot. God has them everything under control, but you can see the danger that this could cause here. And so we see God doing something. What is God doing here? Remember that God told Abram to leave his kinsmen and his land behind. Unfortunately, these two men were having strife between them. But God is using the circumstance to bring to completion the separation. God has a plan for Abram, and there was a greater purpose behind this situation. It wasn't just, meaningless fighting. There was something God has planned for this fighting. It was not just to cause strife for Abram, just to cause him some emotional turmoil, but it was to bring him to a place of blessing. This separation would also bring Lot to his place of testing. So for Abram, this is going to bring more blessing. For Lot, it's going to set up a situation of a test, which we'll see later on for Lot. And we'll see how he fares in his test too. So that's the end of that one. Next time we'll look at the test for Abram too, because Abram's being tested. His faith is being tested and strengthened here as well. So let's take a look at that next time.